Matt Bernie are taking a look at the graded stakes action from Belmont Park Saturday afternoon, race number 8. For 3-year-old fillies, a mile and 16th on the main track. It's the grade 2 Mother Goose. Before we dive into the field, head on over to bets.drf.com. Get all the latest and greatest. Doesn't matter if you're an existing member, new sign-up member, you name it, you got it. Bets.drf.com is where you need to go for all the details. Let's take a look at the field of 6 fillies. They'll be going 8.5 furlongs on the main track. Chad Brown, he's got a pretty strong hand here in this race with the number 1 Dunbar Road. She is a heavy favorite on the morning line. She figures to be a heavy favorite come post time, owned by Peter Brandt. Most recently, a blowout winner against older horses. 90 Beyer speed figure, 113 raw time form US rating. Visually, she's been strong. She's a half length away from being unbeaten in 3 lifetime starts. She has the versatility that I think is important in a race like this, where she can be more forward if needed. There's really not a lot to knock about her. She's proven at this mile and 16th, the one-turn configuration. And look, connections have always been very high about her. They were hopeful to get her into the Kentucky Oaks, thought she had a big chance there. Didn't happen. She shows up here in this spot after a little bit of a prep at the end of May. Dunbar Road, needless to say, going to be tough to handle in this spot. Classic Fit is the number 2 horse for Mike Stidham. Lasix goes on, for the first time. The problem here for this filly, won the Hut most recently. That was last year as a 2-year-old in December at Gulfstream Park. Been gone for a long time. Lasix go on, and the form of that Hut, subpar at best. Running style I don't think is necessarily ideal for an instance like this either. We'll touch on the pace projector more momentarily, but Classic Fit to me, if you're going to use underneath, if at all. The number 3, Safta, for Dermot Magner. This is a horse that broke her maiden most recently. They paid $150,000 for her at OBS April of 18. She's a daughter of Dialed In. Won in gate-to-wire fashion, setting fast fractions. Now, that leads me to the Time Form US pace projector and why I think the pace projector is a little bit interesting for this race. You see the gray bar? Gray bar is a relatively new designation, meaning no speed. I don't know. I mean, I get the first 2 or 3 races of her career, there wasn't a heck of a lot of speed shown. But that most recent run, Timeform US had all those fractions color-coded red, and she was out there cutting them. I kind of feel like Safta is the speed. I think she goes. I think Dunbar Road sits just off. And I think it's those 2 horses, and say, come and catch me to anybody else. I think Safta goes right to the front beneath Rosario. Interesting to note, and it's not, I shouldn't say it's interesting, but Jose Ortiz rode Safta in the most recent run. He stays aboard Dunbar Road in this spot. Maybe he learned something there in that most recent run. But Safta, to me, pretty clearly the pace in this race. The number 4 horse is Geltrin. Geltrin, I tell you what, Alexis Delgado's done a really good job with this horse. I thought that Devona Dale was just a sort of blip on the radar. When she went out there, she won the race at 51-1. Comes back in the Kentucky Oaks. Doesn't work out for her. Don't really want to hold that race against her. They turn her back in the Acorn, and she runs her eyeballs out. Sure, she's no match for the top 2 finishers. She runs her eyeballs out at 46-1, runs 3rd in a grade 1. A really nice training job all around from Geltrin. Is it bad that I'm still not convinced that she is of that upper echelon? I think she's run 2 great races, and she's run some decent races otherwise. If I'm going to use her, I'll use her underneath in a spot like this. The 5, Cassie's Dreamer, goes out for Barclay Tagg. Another horse that just strictly from a numbers standpoint, the form does not suggest that she's going to be fast enough to win a race like this. She's been in the money 4 times from 6 lifetime starts, a couple of victories, so it's hard to really knock what she's done there. But you take a look, she's living in the low 70 range from a buyer standpoint. Simply put, that's not fast enough to get the job done in a race like this. And we get to the outside horse, a bit of a wild card. The number 6, Wings of Dawn from Mark Cassie. Dylan Davis has the mount. This is a horse that is a perfect 2 for 2 on synthetic, 0 for 2 on turf, never set foot on a dirt track. A little bit interesting. Going to find out what we get here from this one. I do like what we've seen in each of the past 2 runs from this horse up north of the border at Woodbine. The distance isn't going to be an issue. They paid a boatload of cash for this horse. Look, she's done some good things. You have a positive formulator fact in your corner as well. For Mark Cassie, past 3 years, synthetic to dirt, route races, 5 for 19, 10 in the money with a 326 ROI. I just want to see if she can handle the dirt as opposed to the synthetic where she has done such a good job in these past 2 runs. It's not that I'm way against her. It's just I just want to see if she can actually handle it. And this would be kind of a homework assignment for me, where I would look at it and say, you know what? See what she does. If she runs well, maybe you've got bigger and better things at Saratoga to come. Whether it's the Alabama, CCA Oaks might be a little bit of a quick turnaround, but the Alabama is kind of my thought when I see this pedigree. If she can if she can handle stand up, combination of those. She can handle the dirt, maybe that's an interesting spot for her going forward. As of right now, though, I want to sit back and watch. So ultimately, where do I end up here? In the main event at Belmont on Saturday afternoon, to nobody's surprise, I'm going to go with Chad Brown. I'm going to go with the number 1, Dunbar Road. I think she works out a beautiful trip. I think Safta goes. I think Dunbar Road sits just off. If for some reason Safta doesn't go, Jose's down on the rail. Just break, go right to the front and say, come and catch me. I think she is quality. I think she's done some good things already, and I think this could just be the tip of the iceberg. I think you might be looking at a big-time 3-year-old filly as we go through the summer months into the fall. I'm going to go 1-3, Dunbar Road over Safta in the Mother Goose, the Grade 2 event at Belmont, race number 8 on Saturday. If you're playing this race, any other race, DRF Bets is the way to do it. Head on over to bets.drf.com for all the latest and greatest as far as details are concerned. Schedule post time for the Grade 2 Mother Goose at Belmont Park Saturday afternoon, race number 8, 5:18 Eastern. Best of luck.